Today I want to talk about one of the most powerful apologetic tools you can ever use, something that, if you can really grasp it, can totally change conversations about God. It's the idea of taking away the skeptic's foundation and showing where their worldview leads. We're going to apply this to morality, and I'll show you not only how this points to God's existence, but also leads straight to the gospel. Let's start with this tool. It goes like this. When someone says they don't believe in God, but still claims things are right or wrong, meaningful or rational, you step into their worldview for a moment and ask, if I accept your view of the world, no God, no soul, no purpose, can you still make sense of the things you care most about? That's where the ground drops out, because things like morality, human value, justice, and truth simply don't have a foundation without God. And when you lovingly point that out, you're not being mean. You're helping them see the cracks in their worldview. If someone's worldview can't support the weight of real life, if it crumbles under its own logic, you've just opened the door for something better. The truth of the gospel. Let's look at how this applies to morality. The moral argument for God goes like this. If God does not exist, objective moral values cannot exist, but objective moral values do exist. Therefore, God exists. We can step into the atheist or skeptic's shoes and say, okay, let's say there's no God, just matter and energy. In that kind of universe, where do things like right and wrong come from? Why do humans have dignity? Why is justice meaningful? And the answer is simply, they can't explain it. All they can say is, well, we evolved that way, or society decided this is wrong. But that just gives us behavior or opinion, not obligation. There's no reason to say slavery or murder is actually wrong, just unpopular or inconvenient. But no one actually lives like that. Even the most committed atheist still says, that's not fair, or you shouldn't hurt people. That's powerful evidence that they're made in the image of God. And deep down, they know it. Romans 1 says that people suppress the truth in unrighteousness. What we're doing in these conversations is gently removing their excuses and letting the truth reveal itself. Once someone sees their worldview can't hold up, the gospel makes sense in a new way. Because morality doesn't just prove God exists, it proves we're guilty before him. Romans 2:15 says the law is written on our hearts. We know we should be honest, pure, faithful, loving, but we fail. We're not just aware of morality, we're convicted by it. That's where the gospel comes in. Jesus isn't just a teacher or an example. He's the only one who lived a perfect, moral life, then took the penalty we deserved. At the cross, God's justice was satisfied, and his mercy was displayed. And now through Christ we can be forgiven and made new. So when someone begins to see that their worldview can't explain morality, that's the opening. You don't just stop at, you're wrong. You say, there is a solid foundation. His name is Jesus. He is the truth you've been borrowing without realizing it, and he wants you to know him. So I'll end with this. Next time you're in a conversation and someone says, I don't believe in God, ask them to explain what they do believe, and then gently push it to its logical end. Ask, if there's no God, why does justice matter? Why do you believe people have value? Why is it wrong to lie or cheat? Most people can't answer those questions consistently, and when they realize that, it creates space for the gospel. This isn't about winning arguments. It's about loving people enough to challenge their false foundations and offer them the true one, Jesus Christ, the solid rock. Thank you.